All right, thanks for watching How to Cook Stuff. My name is Chef Blaze. So you guys see me next. Okay, I'm gonna cut that. Next time you want, next time you want to make yourself. What's up, guys? It's Chef Blaze here. Welcome to How to Cook Stuff. Today we're gonna cook some White Castle burgers. Now, I know what you're thinking. We're not actually just going to cook these little frozen ones. We're going to cook some real ones with fresh ingredients. What we've got here is some 80% lean ground beef, a New York steak, half a New York steak, a fresh onion, pepper jack cheese, and Hawaiian rolls, which are about the same size as the White Castle rolls, so those should work pretty well. We're going to start by dicing our onion with a medium dice. I like to just cut off the non-root end, like that. Then you just cut it in half. But you just want to make sure to leave that root intact right there, because that's going to hold it all together for making it easier to cut. So what we do is we take the knife and we put two medium-length cuts almost all the way through the onion. And then we take the onion and we cut it down like this. Leaving that root intact leaves it so that you can dice the onion without it going all over the place. I'm using a 10-inch Shun Classic Chef's knife. And one onion might be enough, but I'm just going to do the other half as well. Just like that. Nice, perfect medium dice. And I think that's a good amount of onion for the size of the cast iron skillet I'm going to be using. Let's take our onion and throw it into a bowl, and then we'll go ahead and slice up that New York steak. One thing I wanted to mention before we go any further is that we're going to actually be soaking these cut up onion pieces in chicken broth. Now you'll see what this does later. Just like that. Just get it all soaking right in there. We want all of the onions submerged in the chicken broth. You need to go ahead and set that aside. Next, we're going to clean our cutting board using the power of magic. Now we're going to go ahead and usually you would grind up this New York steak or whatever steak you wanted to use. I'm going with a mixture of 80% ground and then just a bit of New York steak that I'm going to chop up and add in just to give it some more texture. If you had a meat grinder, that would obviously be the better option, but I don't. Alright, so kind of just try to get it into some strips, and then you're going to want to make a ball. And just go from there. Just keep cutting that ball down to size. And then eventually, see, that's a little bit of gristle. I don't want that in there. Be real careful if you're using a really sharp knife to do this. Sometimes the meat, or if you hit a piece of gristle or blade, can slip off. And that's no fun at all. That's pretty good. You just want to get it down like close as you can get it to ground beef without, taking an hour to do so. Next thing we're going to do is go ahead and mix the two kinds of meat. We got our ground beef, the 80%, and the chopped up New York steak. Alright, the next step is forming the White Castle specific square patties. What you want to do is you want to take some parchment paper, at least enough to, that you can flatten. You want to take enough parchment paper that you can flatten the entirety of your hamburgers out, get it in the middle, and then just start getting it as kind of flat into the shape of a rectangle as you can. So that's probably good, like that. Then we'll take this, fold it over, and then just keep on smashing it. You want to get it really, really thin. As thin as you can. Ideally, a rolling pin would be what you'd use right here, but I don't have one. So I get to do everything the hard way. What you're going for is you want to have enough patties to cover this size. So it looks like with this is how many burgers we're going to be doing. So it's 12 here, and so you just want to make sure you have enough that's going to be enough to cover each one of these buns. And I think we're just about there. I just want it a little bit thinner, just like that. All right, I think that looks pretty good. So I think what we're going to do now is we open it back up and we have to actually shape our individual patties. And the way we're going to do this is just with a knife, but we're just going to square off the edges of this.
About the fucking flex.
One line here. One line here. And then, yeah, one in the middle. Just like that. And so those are about the size of each patty. There's one unique thing to all of the White Castle burgers is that each of their burgers has small holes in it. They have 5 small holes that look kind of like a die. They got one in the middle, and then one in each corner, just like so. And seeing as how I already did this before, and this part takes a very long time, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these, and I'm going to go ahead and put them in the freezer, and pull out the other ones that I already have frozen. Go. 12 nice little patties just like that, ready to hopefully break apart easily. So see, these are the little tiny White Castle patties. Like regular White Castle patties, like I said, have 5 holes, but I didn't want to put 5 holes in them, so I got single hole patties. Next, we're going to go ahead and get our onion sauteing. Cast iron pan, high heat, olive oil, and then we just let that get hot. And then we're gonna go ahead and add the onions and chicken broth. All right, that's what we call a smoking hot pan. Throw our onions in. And I'm throwing the onions in before I pour all the juice in because I want them to saute a bit and I don't want all of that juice to steam out. Let's go ahead and add a bit more of the chicken stock. And then now we take our patties and we lay them right down in on top of the onions that are cooking. Looks like that's about how many I'm going to be able to fit in there. Next, we take the bottom of the bun, and you just put the bottom of the bun, or actually salt and pepper first. Let me get a little bit of salt and a little bit of pepper. And then now the bottom bun just goes right on top and steams right along with the burgers. And then the top bun sits right on top just like that. And so everything gets that steam from the onion. So this should take no more than 10 minutes, maybe 15. While we're waiting for those burgers, we'll go ahead and slice some cheese. We've got pepper jack here. You can use whatever you like. I believe White Castle uses cheddar. I didn't happen to have any cheddar in the fridge. So I'm just going to cut these to about the size we need. And don't worry, I'll use all this extra pepper jack for something else later. Now I've got several nice slices of cheese. And I got them already at room temp so that they just melt real well as soon as we set it over the top of the burgers. And those burgers are looking done, so I'm going to go ahead and start plating them now. So what you do is, because it has all the onion on it and all the bun is already there, you just flip it over, put some cheese on it, and you've got yourself a slider, just like that. Alright, there's a couple more, but they won't fit on the plate. And those are White Castle sliders, just like that. You can make them at home. They're really good, they're really simple, and you can see why their restaurant franchise has been so successful. Alright, here we go. Just like that. Oh man, that cheese looks great. That's really good. You can taste the flavor of the onion all throughout the whole thing. The bread, everything. Well, that was successful, I think. Next time you want to make yourself some sliders, you can either go to the store and buy some, or you can just make them yourself. Alright, thank you guys for watching How to Cook Stuff. My name is Chef Blaze, and I'll see you next time.